Shavkat Rakhmonov, has officially responded to Joaquin Buckley's recent call-out, adding fuel to a rivalry that has been gaining serious attention in the MMA community. Buckley has been vocal about wanting to face Rakhmonov, insisting that a victory over the undefeated welterweight contender would immediately place him next in line for a title shot. He took to Instagram to send a bold message, accusing Rakhmonov of avoiding him and questioning the strength of his past opposition. According to Buckley, Rakhmonov has never fought anyone with his level of speed, pressure, or power, and he believes that stepping into the cage with him would expose what he calls the holes, hesitation, and limits in Rakhmonov's skill set. Buckley added that Rakhmonov has been living off an image and he intends to shatter that image by force. He continued by stating that Rakhmonov's team is intentionally refusing to mention his name because they know the danger he poses. Support for Buckley's challenge even came from Henry Hooft, who commented that none of the top contenders should be looking to avoid Buckley, and that he is ready to step forward into a matchup that would test anyone in the division. Buckley closed his statement by emphasizing that there should be no excuses, no contender talk, and no delays. He simply wants Rakhmonov. Alexander Volkanovski has firmly dismissed rumors, suggesting that he is considering retirement, making it clear that he has no intention of stepping away from the sport anytime soon. As he prepares for his upcoming fight at UFC 325 against Diego Lopes, the former featherweight champion emphasized that his competitive fire remains strong and that the idea of this being his final appearance is simply not true. Volkanovski addressed the speculation directly, stating that there has never been a plan for this fight to mark the end of his career. He explained that fans and media members do not need to worry because retirement is not on the table and he remains fully committed to competing at the highest level. He went on to outline his goals for the immediate future, highlighting his desire for a quick turnaround. Following UFC 325, Volkanovski believes he can deliver a dominant performance without taking unnecessary damage, which would allow him to return to the octagon sooner rather than later. His mindset is focused on making a strong statement in this fight, showcasing an impressive display that reaffirms his elite status in the division. He expressed confidence that he can accomplish this with the right approach and preparation. Volkanovski also discussed the exciting matchups still available to him, mentioning fighters like Movsar Evloev and Lerone Murphy as potential future opponents. Both men remain undefeated and present compelling challenges that Volkanovski feels could add value to his legacy. He acknowledged their talent and believes a victory over either of them would further solidify his place among the greatest featherweights in the sport's history. These possible fights serve as motivation for him to continue pushing forward, seeking new tests and opportunities to prove himself. In addition to his competitive goals, Volkanovski expressed enthusiasm about performing in Sydney, where he hopes to deliver a memorable show for the fans. His aim is to fight in dominant fashion, stay healthy, and then keep his momentum going with another bout soon after. While he remains open to seeing how things unfold following UFC 325, he reiterated strongly that retirement is not part of the equation. Volkanovski made it clear that his journey inside the cage is far from over, and despite the rumors, he remains driven, ambitious, and eager to add more significant victories to an already remarkable career. Charles Oliveira has addressed the current lightweight picture and made it clear that a big win over Max Holloway at UFC 326 could place him right back into title contention. Following the announcement that Oliveira and Holloway will compete for the BMF belt, Oliveira spoke openly about his position within the division and why he believes a strong performance will earn him another title shot. Appearing on the AG Fights YouTube channel, he explained that the UFC landscape is influenced not only by rankings and recent results, but also by star power, name recognition, and the ability to draw major interest. Oliveira stated that he believes he is a far bigger name than contenders like Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gaethje, and Arman Tsarukyan, and he feels that his popularity plays a significant role in determining who gets fast-tracked toward championship opportunities. He elaborated that the UFC operates like a strategic game in which fighters must learn to navigate timing, momentum, and marketability. Oliveira acknowledged that champion Islam Makhachev is currently taking personal time away and that the interim belt will be contested in January. With his fight scheduled only 2 months later, Oliveira sees a clear opening for himself to jump back into the conversation if he wins in impressive fashion. He stated that he brings charisma, excitement, and fan appeal, qualities he believes surpass those of the fighters competing for the interim belt. Oliveira also expressed his belief that Arman Tsarukyan deserved a title fight, whether interim or undisputed, but that for reasons unknown, the UFC chose a different direction. Even so, Oliveira maintains that he still draws significantly more attention than Tsarukyan, and he feels that this reality keeps him firmly positioned near the front of the line. He emphasized that he intends to put on a great performance, secure the BMF title, and make enough of an impact to burst the bubble and force his way back into a championship bout. If Oliveira does secure a statement victory and returns to title contention, it could potentially delay Tsarukyan's path even further. Some even argue that Tsarukyan may need to consider a different weight class if the division continues to shift in Oliveira's favor. Ultimately, the question remains whether a strong showing at UFC 326 will be enough to propel Oliveira back into a title fight. Fans are divided, but there is no doubt that the stakes are enormous for both Oliveira and the lightweight division as a whole. Joe Rogan has shared his perspective on the recent altercation between Khamzat Chimaev and Ian Gary, an incident that occurred during UFC Qatar and quickly became a talking point throughout the MMA community. The moment, which showed Gary appearing slightly aggressive toward Khamzat and Khamzat responding by pushing him away, prompted both fighters to give their own accounts afterward. Ian Gary criticized Khamzat, calling him a disgrace, while Khamzat responded in a more dismissive tone, joking that Gary was simply trying to boost his own profile by attaching himself to a bigger name. In an interview with ESPN, Khamzat suggested that Gary wanted attention and that his team was more than willing to make him famous, even throwing playful jabs about Gary's behavior. Khamzat continued by humorously comparing Gary's attitude to a sweet drink and emphasized that he would not mind facing him in the future, even imagining scenarios where he might fight both Alex Pereira and Gary. He downplayed the seriousness of the moment and indicated that Gary's apparent aggression did not bother him. Joe Rogan, however, took a closer look at the situation during a recent podcast episode with UFC fighter Brendan Allen. Rogan noted that many fans had initially reacted to a single clip that appeared to show Khamzat becoming aggressive without provocation. But according to Rogan, an alternate angle revealed that Gary had slapped Khamzat on the back with noticeable force before the push occurred. Rogan described Gary's behavior as passive-aggressive, stating that it seemed as though Gary tried to assert dominance in a subtle but disrespectful manner. He mentioned that the extended footage made the situation far clearer, painting Gary not as a victim, but as the instigator who attempted to Big Brother Khamzat. Rogan pointed out that what Gary did was not a friendly tap or a simple greeting. Instead, it appeared forced, awkward, and intended to provoke. He explained that the shove from Khamzat made more sense once the full context was visible. Brendan Allen added that, although there are things Gary says or does that he may personally disagree with, there are also moments where he supports him, emphasizing that people can have mixed feelings about a fighter while still respecting them on a professional level. Overall, Rogan concluded that the altercation seemed less like a heated rivalry and more like a strange, unnecessary moment created by Gary's behavior, which Khamzat reacted to instinctively. Sean O'Malley has weighed in on the controversy surrounding Merab Dvalishvili's coach, John Wood, who has faced heavy criticism since UFC 323 for telling Merab he was winning 3 rounds against Peter Yan, an assessment many fans and analysts strongly disagreed with. Wood recently appeared on Ariel Helwani's show to address the backlash. Helwani asked him to clarify why he believed Merab was ahead when most viewers felt Yan was clearly winning. Wood admitted that his view in the moment may have been influenced by the chaos of the corner. He explained that, based on what he was seeing live, he felt Merab was the busier fighter, pressing the action and staying active. However, after re-watching the fight, he acknowledged that Yan clearly had the bigger moments, landed the more impactful strikes, and caused visible damage, including the bleeding that often sways opinions in real time. Wood said that, in hindsight, he understands why many believe his advice was incorrect. He emphasized that during the fight, his corner truly felt they were ahead early, though the third round became harder to call and the final 2 rounds clearly favored Yan. He admitted that he needs to review the situation carefully and that, if he did make a mistake, he intends to correct it, to ensure he remains objective for future fights. Wood also noted that judging from the corner can be difficult, and the optics of a fight can dramatically affect perception in the heat of the moment. He stressed that it was never about misleading Merab, but about interpreting the action as best as possible from their vantage point. Sean O'Malley, however, had sharp words for Wood's assessment. Reflecting on his own experiences, O'Malley said that Tim Welch, his longtime coach, once told him his opponent was faster than him, something O'Malley joked was still better advice than telling a fighter he's comfortably ahead when he isn't. He pointed out that honest, harsh feedback in the corner is far more valuable than empty reassurance. O'Malley remarked that Wood's comment about being up 3 rounds could mislead a fighter and affect their urgency, especially in a close contest. He acknowledged that coaches sometimes see fights differently due to adrenaline and familiarity with their fighter, but he maintained that clarity and honesty are essential. Overall, the situation has sparked debate over corner communication, the importance of objectivity, and how critical accurate advice can be in shaping the outcome of a fight.